Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen Odd, and these are Karen's Oddities. If you are new here, please like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video. If you're returning, thank you for returning. But if you are returning and you're not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe to my channel if you really want to support me. So for today's video, I wanted to start talking about my home buying process. This is one of the videos that I wanted to do. And someone commented on another video the other day, well, a couple weeks ago, because I'm really crappy at responding to comments. And they asked me if I could talk about my experience and my process. I have some notes. I'm going to try to make it into one video, but it's probably going to have to be a two-parter. So I think that once I hit like the 25 mark on this one, that's going to be an indicator it needs to be a two-parter. I have my notes down here on my lap. So let me start with that. So first I wanted to talk about my housing situation prior to starting my home buying process. So I moved out of my parents' home when this was 2018. I can't do math. It's really bad that I can't do math. 25? Yeah, I was 25 because I'm 30. That's easy math. I can do that math. So I moved out of my parents' house when I was 25. This was in 2018. I went through a terrible breakup that I felt like was going to be the end of everything, end of all, that I was going to die. And I knew that I needed a change. I wanted, when you live in your parents' home, usually you have your room. If you're not sharing it, right? If you have siblings, sometimes you might have to share that room. You have your room, and then you have the common areas, right? You have the hallways, the common bathroom, the kitchen, the dining room, the living room. And my parents, they have it's not a huge house, but it's pretty spacious. I'm sure it's 2,000 and something square feet. They have a huge yard. But we also, we're a full family and we're all adults. So a couple of things. I knew that I needed something different. I knew that my time in that space had reached its end. I knew that my family and I were getting into it more than usual. I'm not that easy to live with sometimes. And sometimes, personalities collide, whatever. We're all human. We're all different people. We all bring different traits to the table. And sometimes there was a lack of compatibility on my end and on my family's end. I needed more space. I only had one room. I enjoy shopping. I have a lot of things. I had accumulated a lot of things in the 25 years of my life. And I have some hoarder tendencies. So I needed more space. I needed a change of environment. And I knew that we were not compatibly working out anymore. And the fourth most important reason was I was going stir crazy in that room. I was going crazy because I'm like, I have so much. I just started thinking about my future and my life. And I'm like, what do I have? What have I done for just like life changing and reflective life questions, maybe even existential type of questions, right? Usually when you go through a big moment, whether that's a big loss, it could be a death of someone, a death of a relationship, you have a traumatic event, a traumatic incident or experience, you start to have some of those existential questions and really ask yourself, what have I done all these years? Where am I going? What is next in my life? So I was asking myself all these questions, whatever, going through my heartbreak, feeling like I was going to die, going stir crazy in this room. And I'm also spending a lot more time in this room because I'm not with my boyfriend. We're not hanging out together. I'm depressed, etc. So, I'm in the room, whatever. I wish I remembered all the details of how it came to be. I started looking, right? This is my apartment. I'm like, I'm really going to need like 3 videos for this home buying process. But anyway, I started looking at apartments. I met with a good friend of mine. She was actually over yesterday. I had some friends over yesterday. But I met with her and, I was like, I want to move. And she was super excited. She's great. And she's like, this is what we need to do. She's like, let's break it down. What is your income? What do you want to pay? break down the utilities, what it's going to cost you. We got to that final golden number of what I can realistically afford to pay with my car note and all of that. So I ended up finding this apartment through my best friend at the time. She connected me because her parents knew the owners of this apartment. It was literally an upper loft. It was 1,000 square feet, the same size of the house that I live in now. But it feels so much spacious, so much more spacious and bigger. But it was 1,000 square feet. It was a loft. It was in an attic in a historic neighborhood in the city. It was close to downtown. I was 6 minutes from downtown. I was 6 minutes away from my family. Downfalls of that apartment. So it was really cute spot, all my own, 1,000 square feet, had 2 levels. Kitchen was on the first floor. First of all, it's in an attic. So you have think of 40 stairs outside. First landing is kitchen. You have your kitchen, you have a little pantry, then you have 20 more stairs, maybe 18, maybe 15. 15 more stairs, then you have your living room, and then you have my bathroom up there. I had my laundry, it literally had a washer and dryer. They were from the 1960s, but they worked great. And then I had this big, beautiful bedroom with arch ceiling because I'm in an attic, these beautiful historic windows that were French and you can pull them out. They were wood and they had the little diamond print. It was wood floor in the bedroom. The bedroom was huge. I moved my bed around in 4 different positions and I had a queen size bed. I loved my bedroom. I loved my space. It was a really cute apartment. It kind of gave dorm slash bachelorette vibe, if a bachelor pad was a thing. It was a little penthouse. It was cute, but it was old. It was old. It was old, okay? Floors creaked. It was dusty. It was a bit crusty. I couldn't control the utilities. So, obviously I had access to water, right? But I couldn't control the temperature. I couldn't put the heat on, put the air on. They didn't have central air. The house was built in 1812, I think, or something crazy like that. Excuse me. So it was forced heat. But I loved my apartment. I loved my apartment. It was so cute. And I have so many great memories there. And my landlord and his wife, they actually lived downstairs. So they were my second parents away from home. It was they were great people. I loved staying with them. I loved that first experience of me being on my own. And if you are in a position where you have not transitioned out of your family's home, I'm letting you know, and I tell everyone this, taking that step, moving away from home and living on my own, even if it's a crappy apartment, even if it's old and dusty and crusty, there is something really beautiful when you do that for yourself. There's something super empowering. It's a great feeling. You'll be so happy and you'll have a sense of accomplishment and you'll be so at peace because you don't have anyone else telling you what you need to do, what you didn't do. If you clean up something, it stays cleaned up. If you make a mess, it's all on you. It's a different experience. And I recommend it to anyone, and I know culturally, sometimes there can be issues with that. With my family, it wasn't a huge thing, but I know they were not in support of me moving. So when I moved, I did not have a lot of help moving into that apartment. My brothers helped me and his friend, but my parents, they did not help me. They were not on board. Of course, I'm the only girl in the family. They were concerned about my safety, rightfully so. All these things are valid, but we have to move, literally and metaphorically. We have to move in order to grow. You cannot grow in the same space sometimes. You may grow to a certain point, but your full potential is never going to be in one space. Just think of a tree or think of a plant, right? Any type of plant, anything that grows from the earth. At some point, those roots are going to hit something, whether that's a wall of a building, whether that's a pipe underground. And those roots, once they hit that, they're limited in their growth, right? So we have to keep that in mind. I needed it to grow. I understood that my family wasn't going to be on board, but I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I have to do it because I was going crazy. I had to do a change of pace and I needed it to be something major enough. And I think that when I moved, I needed it to be something major enough because I'm like, I need it to snap me out of my depression. And I'm not crying, by the way. I just have like an eye crusty. I don't cry over this relationship anymore. I used to cry a lot about it, but I needed something to snap me out of it. So moving into my apartment, that was that. Okay, let me move on. So I was there for 4 years. And then again, I reached that point where I'm like, what's next for me? I started thinking about the things that I did not like about my apartment. You know, at some point my car got stolen. That was like early on. That was like the first or second year. Of course, my parents were like, I told you so, blah, blah, blah. It was a big ordeal. Car got stolen. That worked itself out as well. But I started thinking about the things I didn't like. I didn't like all the stairs that my dog and I had to do. My dog, Jack, he's 11. He was getting older. I didn't like that. I didn't like that I couldn't control the heat. I didn't like that it was old, dusty, and crusty. I didn't like that they needed a new roof. So at some point, water started coming in. The roof got replaced while it was there, not the point. I felt like I had outgrown the space. Okay. So I knew it was time for me to do something different. Okay. So this is when I get into what I did to find my home. So I'll see you guys in the next video with information on that.